but I think it's most of all a reflection on how badly the Republicans are doing and how much Donald Trump is disliked in this moment. It's a Trump plus.
No, I'm talking about, look, I know you're going to go to Trump, but it's more about the candidate in.
Mike Van Epps?
Yes.
Yes, the guy, he's, Matt, sorry. Been on TV all day. Mike Johnson has to fly in to do a rally with him this morning and get Donald Trump on the phone. He won by 22 points. This wasn't like it was close. But what is it?
Yes,
what is it about? The cost of living is up $650 per family from last year.
In Nashville?
Yes. They don't think that Donald Trump has a plan, or the Republicans have a plan to lower their cost of living.
From last year.
Since Donald Trump has been president, their lives are $650 more expensive.
Why is that?
Because of his useless tariffs.
Is it because gas went up?
I'm
just trying to get the points out. I'm trying to help you, Jessica.
I think I'm doing absolutely fine on it. And I think that she is right as well, that there are people who live in Nashville who understand that she's complaining about the tourism part of it, like how you complain about your neighborhood, which you dearly love. And
that's crime. That's violent crime. It's not about tourists. Tourists save my neighborhood. Okay. Like they saved New York.
This is the problem, and this is what the dynamic will be going through the midterms.
You've taken over this segment, Jessica. I need to move on.
Are you? This is a sick joke.
Hi, everybody. Elliott Morgan here, and that was Jessica Tarlov not getting paid enough to sit next to Greg Gutfeld, who is, and it is rare that I get to use this insult, a buffoon. I love saying that word, and he fits the bill so perfectly. But in case you weren't able to hear what Tarlov was saying amidst Gutfeld being like, tourists are good, what he was talking about was the Tennessee special election, which Democrats did end up losing, but not by a lot. So that raises the question, is this a bellwether of things to come? Is this a sign about a shifting sentiment in the American citizenry against the Trump administration? Is that hopium? Is that copium? You can be the judge. In the meantime, these next few clips are specifically for Democratic politicians who might be curious about how to run a campaign that, I don't know, speaks to people's material interests. So pay attention if you're a Democratic politician. For the love of God.
I got my start as a healthcare community organizer in the state of Tennessee, fighting to preserve Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. So as the next congresswoman for the 7th Congressional District, I'll ensure those subsidies remain for the ACA. 2, I'll restore funding for Medicaid, which is a lifeline for so many rural hospitals in the district. And 3, roll back tariffs, which are squeezing and bankrupting Tennessee farmers right now. I'm someone who cannot be bought or sold by special interests. I represent the interests of the constituents of the 7th Congressional District. And as I've said on the campaign, if you are upset about the chaos of Washington and the cost of living, then I'm your candidate. And I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what political party you belong to. I welcome you with open arms. Come to our side and vote for change.
Did you catch that, Democratic establishment? Did you see how she didn't call people from the opposing political party deplorables or tell young people that they're stupid? You know, did you see how she made the message both short and memorable? It is neat, right? As a neat idea. Be good if Democrats did that every once in a while. Let's keep taking notes. You writing all this down? Okay.
Yeah, I decided to run for this race after the big ugly bill was passed in July. And as a healthcare organizer, understanding the devastating impacts of Medicaid cuts and that the big ugly bill was the largest transfer of wealth codified into law in American history. And it's wearing thin. I think voters are waking up and realizing that they're upset with the cost of living. They're upset with the chaos of Washington, and they want change. And so my pitch from the beginning to these voters is, if you think things are going well, I'm not your candidate.
Right.
If you want to change, I am your candidate.
Did you catch that, Democratic establishment? Did you get it? Did you see how she saw something that was hurting the American people and it motivated her to become a public servant where she serves the public? Okay, write that down. All right, write it on a Post-it note and then staple it to your forehead upside down so you see it wherever you go. But obviously that clip was on the internet, so one of you is going to have to type it out and mail it to Chuck Schumer. Obviously use a big font.
I've said from the beginning, since Mom Donnie was on the scene, this is coming to a city near you. This is where the energy is. Whoever is in power in the White House typically has a hard time in that first midterm. AOC has figured out, okay, she's picking people. Matt Van Epps, you could not find a better candidate. He checks he's an amazing American, this patriotic guy. He's willing to serve and yet it's this close. I do think that he will win.
I hope he does.
But the fact that it is close is a warning sign to Republicans everywhere that this Democratic energy from the far left is not going to stop. And it won't be Jessica necessarily, but you'll have Democrats. Maybe Harold will say, she's not a real Democrat. No, like this is actually where the party is going. She campaigned with AOC the weekend before the election. That tells me that they're not worried about her.
You know, these guys are running out of scare tactics when they have to like really start emphasizing the far and far left. You know, this is far left. You know, this is that implies extremism. You know what I mean? But to be clear, the extremism in this instance was just wanting people to live a more dignified life. And part of living a dignified life is being able to afford things, which, I mean, you know, that's basic necessities, I guess you could say. I'm no political theorist, but I think it has something to do with that. Also, this isn't just a warning for Republicans. This is also a warning for Democrats. Can you see how scared they are of the idea of Democrats not being dead center and doing absolutely nothing? Gee, I wonder if there's another lesson there for you, Democratic establishment. I mean, what would it even be like if Republicans were actually intimidated by Democrats? It might look something like this.
What keeps you up at night, and what could Trump, how could he do better at addressing those concerns you have?
Well, what keeps me up at night? Losing elections. I mean, honestly, like the biggest danger to momentum is losing the next election. If they win, they will impeach the president again. If they win big and somehow get control of the Senate, I think Trump is right about this. They will eliminate the filibuster. If they were to win in 26 and 28, they will pack the courts. They will make D.C. and Puerto Rico states. They will do a lot of terrible things in a very, very short period of time. So what keeps me up at night is our political future.
We have a lot of good things going. Okay, I can't name any off the top of my head, but there's a lot going on. Plus, you can't have the Democrats. I mean, that's just absolutely terrifying. They're going to do all these terrible things, like, you know, maybe impeach Donald Trump for breaking the law. They'd be like the party of law and order, if you think about it. Or maybe they'll try to like pack the court so it's not run for the next several decades by one particular party, which would make it like more democratic, I guess. And I don't know, maybe one day they'll even try to give people free and affordable health care, regardless of their employment status, almost like it's some sort of a human right. You know what? I'm actually all for the Democratic Party doing all those terrible things. In fact, I would settle for them doing anything. I really would. I think that would be fantastic. You know, I would just give it a go. Thankfully, there are beacons of hope, though, in this dystopia. And even though Afton lost, Van Epps only won by 9 points, which is a far cry from the 22 points that Trump won with. So time will tell whether this is bellwether, whether this is a sign of things to come, or whether it's not. I think ultimately it's going to come down to whether or not people want to vote for politicians that make their lives better, or if they want to keep playing this game where they pretend like it's a football match and they have to fight against the other team, regardless of whether or not it's going to make their lives worse. Personally, I think the sooner that the Democrats stop playing that game altogether and start speaking to people's actual needs, the better, you know? So thank you, Afton, Ben. Even though you lost, you did give me some kind of glimmer of hope. And I really do appreciate that, because it's needed right now. You know, the fact that you lost and it still gives me hope says something about where we're at. I just don't know how to word it in a way. Yeah, I don't know how to word it in a way that's not totally depressing. Also, I don't know why my camera looks like I'm in an episode of Days of Our Lives. I have no idea. Okay. Not my area of expertise. Like sand through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives. I'll see you next week.